Hi, welcome to Gamers Chess Club online chess lessons. My name is Jason, and this is the 14th lesson in the Introduction to Chess series. Gamers Chess Club is a recreational chess club out of Conroe, Texas, focused on introducing chess to families in a fun and friendly environment. For more information, you can email us at gamerschessclub@gmail.com or visit the Facebook page at www.facebook.com/gamerschessclub. Today's learning objective is to learn to recognize and utilize the skewer tactic. So this is the third lesson in tactics that's part of the Introduction to Chess series. We first learned about forks, then we learned about pins, and now we're going to learn about skewers. Skewers are very similar to pins. A pin was a move in chess where there was a piece under attack and there was a piece beyond it in the line of attack that was more valuable. And so the piece couldn't move or shouldn't move. In this situation, it's very similar. It's a move in chess where a piece is under attack, but it's compelled to move. So instead of being pinned down, it's actually compelled to move out of the way and give up a less valuable piece behind it. Instead of being pinned down, like in the last lesson, the piece should move or must legally move, but in doing so, another piece will be taken. So here's the first example of a skewer. So this is one where the piece must move. Notice that the king is under attack and will expose the unprotected rook when it moves out of the way. In this case, black will lose his rook. So right now the white rook came to a8. The king is in check. There's no pieces to block the attack, so the king has to move out of the way, and when he does, white will get the rook. So that's called a skewer. So this is different than a pin. Remember, a pin would have been when these may have been, a piece. Let's say this was a bishop, and then the king was here, where this piece shouldn't move. Well, in this case, this piece has to move. Okay, here's another example of a skewer. Notice here that the queen here is attacked, and when she moves, it will expose the rook. In this case, white will end up losing the rook, but can recapture with the queen if he makes the right move. So either way, black has the advantage. So right here, if the queen moves out of the way, say queen moves to d1, the bishop will capture the rook, but the queen will be able to recapture. So at least anytime you're a victim of a fork or pin or skewer or any tactic, you try to make the best of it. So in this situation, if you moved your queen here, that would be a bad move because they would get the rook for nothing. Okay, so it's black's turn to move here, and can you find the skewer? So pause the video and see if you can find the skewer. Okay, so rook to a1 check. So if the rook moves down here to a1, the king is compelled to move. This is just very similar to our example. There's nothing to block it. And so the king has to move out of the way, and it exposes the unprotected rook here on h1. So the next one, this one is white's turn to move, and can you find the skewer in this example? So pause the video. Okay, the answer is bishop to b4. So if the bishop moves here to b4, it's protected by the pawn. And the queen is here under attack. The queen can't take the bishop because it's protected. So the queen should move out of the way, but when it does so, it's going to cause the rook to be taken. Okay, so in this example, it's black's turn to move. There's a piece that can move that when it does, it leaves behind, exposes skewer. So see if you can find that move. Pause your video. Okay, the answer is knight to h5. So the knight moves here to h5 and gives some additional support to this bishop. But this bishop is attacking the queen with the rook behind it. So when the queen moves out of the way, they'll get the bishop, or they get the rook. Okay, so it's white's turn to move here, and can you find the devastating skewer? So the game here is pretty equal. Black is up a pawn, but looks like the game black has a slight advantage. But so here's the devastating skewer here at h8. So queen to h8. So queen, this puts the king in check. The king is compelled to move out of the way. There's nothing to block. And when he does so, the queen is going to be captured. Okay, thanks again for joining us. I look forward to seeing you on future lessons.